There's probably one or two people listening right now that really want to know how in the world you 10x your wash and fold and pick up and delivery.
Right now, it's growing because we have Sophy.
What makes a robot in a laundry make any sense whatsoever?
I think one of the biggest things that I've been asked, it's so slow. It's like, I can fold faster than that. But I think for us, it's not about replacing our attendants. It's about augmenting our attendants.
It's an augmentation of our workforce. I always think of it kind of like this. We purchase these washing machines. Lots and lots of money go into those. We purchase dryers. Lots and lots of money goes into those. This is just another machine that just does folding. And it happens to be AI, and it happens to be very complicated and technical, but it's just doing another part of the process.
It's interesting to see this thing working in an actual laundromat, right? Because I think the question is this going to be a feasible, solution to help augment our staff in laundry? Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show 231, and I am mega pumped that you're here today for multiple reasons. Number one is this is the first episode of the Laundromat Resource Podcast coming out in 2026, which is exciting. And we're talking about robots, which is also exciting. Super duper pumped to have you join me on the show today, learning from Craig and Michelle Taylor, who are talking about their experience getting a laundromat and how all that went. But also, in addition to that, they have the folding robots in their store. If I'm not mistaken, if not the first, they're definitely one of the first laundromats utilizing these folding robots. Many of you saw them at the Clean Show back in August in action. They've got them in their store. So super excited for you to hear about how they're utilizing them, how it's working. And I will give the caveat that we recorded this a few months ago. So we just got to a point where we could get it released. So I'm sure they're even better now than they were in this episode. So that's awesome. And real quick, before we jump into it, I just wanted to put a plug out there because I know 2026, new year, if you're listening to it around the new year, a lot of times we have goals to get started with our laundromat journey, right? Buy that first laundromat. It could be a super scary step. I was just talking with somebody today who was like, I just need somebody to help me get past the fear. And I wanted to let you know that we have a team of people that can do just that. We have two different programs to help you get into that first laundromat or your next laundromat. We have a done with you program where you'd be paired up with a one-on-one coach and given all of our tools and resources that we have to help you get that first one the right way the first time. And we have a done for you program where we actually have a team that goes out and finds you laundromats, presents them to you, and helps you pick out the right one for you for your situation. So if you've got a done with you, a done for you, check out laundromatresource.com/coaching to get more info on that. You can book a free call over there and get more information about how we might be able to help you in your laundromat journey, whether it's the new year when you're listening to this or not. Okay, without further ado, I don't want to overshadow Craig and Michelle because they're awesome, but also we've got robots we're talking about today. So listen, this is a winner of an episode. Can't wait for you to listen to it. And again, check out laundromatresource.com/coaching if you're looking to get into that laundromat journey this year. Craig and Michelle, thank you so much for coming on the show. I cannot tell you how excited I am to hear your story, but also to hear a little bit about a robot that I'm hearing rumors about. But thank you for coming on. How you guys doing?
Really good.
Yeah, pretty good. How are you?
I am doing excellent as usual. I was gonna say as always, but as usual, doing excellent. Hey, listen, I know we got to get to this folding robot, but really I want to hear a little bit about you guys. Can we jump in with who are you guys and how did you get into this laundry business?
I think it was sort of my brainchild to check out the laundry business. And actually, Michelle and I explored other opportunities just as small businesses on Main Street. And we landed on the laundry space. Really explored it, listened to a lot of your podcasts, Jordan, and many others in the industry, kind of feeling out, is this something that would be viable for our family? And so my background, I have a chemical engineering degree and a master's of business administration. I've been in biotech industry for years as an engineer and a leader of small organizations. Do you want to give your background real quick?
Yeah, so I'm actually from Singapore. I came here and then stayed here. We kind of looking at different kind of small business and stuff when COVID hit, and we wanted to see what business is going to survive the next pandemic, if we have a pandemic. And then we kind of settled on this. I think it was a right thing at the right time kind of stuff.
Yeah. And we looked all around for different laundries to purchase and really turn around. And, you know, I've gone through every laundry in Sacramento exploring those, and we found this one and found out it was for sale, and we struck a deal and came in and turned the store over, put brand new equipment in, floor to ceiling, everything's new in the store. We've been, and that was back in January 2024. So we've been operating about a year and 9 months at this point. Yeah.
Did you guys rebrand it, or was it already branded Monster Laundry?
Yeah, that's a good question. Our focus over this last year and a half is to make a name and a brand for the Sacramento region. It was not named Monster Laundry. It was a very generic name that you'll find all over laundries in this area. So Monster was a concept of we can handle monster loads of laundry, and we, you know, secured all the rights to the domain, and we worked with, we have who's become a really good friend, who's a local artist that designed the logo mark and overall logo that we have. And that's really where we've gone. Did you want to talk at all about the branding?
Well, so the branding, it really started off with just what is kind of funny, and then we settled on Monster, and then it kind of revolved around that. We were very fortunate, like Craig said, we had a local artist based in Sacramento that designed all this. We worked together and we designed everything, designed the logo, the logo mark, the color schemes. It was funny because it wasn't intentional that I chose purple because Sacramento Kings are purple, but that connects us to the Kings. So our color scheme is teal and purple, and we actually were at a restaurant, and I presented the color scheme to Craig, and he's like, "There is no way we're going to go with this color. No, there's no way."
We saw who lost that fight. Yeah.
We got the swap, and we talked to our waitress, and I said, "Hey, can I just ask you, what do you think?" And she goes, "Oh, I love it. This is awesome." And we're very fortunate to belong to a CrossFit community, CrossFit Anywhere. And Blair, who's the owner, was amazing and let us send out their survey to all the members to pick which logo mark and which color scheme. So that's where we got all of these.
Yeah, so it was a real journey to create the branding, the logo, and it included sending those surveys out and multiple revisions with the artist to land on that look and feel. Now we have a whole branding guide that discusses how to use these logo marks and provides all the proper colors so we're consistent. It's surprising. I mean, even to get the bags for our laundry, to get the right color for those, it's difficult because they're just like, "Oh, that's purple," and they give it to you, but it's not Monster purple.
Even with the truck, like we have customers that says they're not even looking at the logos on the truck, they're just looking at the colors, and once they see the colors, they know that that's the Monster Laundry truck.
Yeah. And I would say, going back to your first question of how we got into this business and why we chose it, I was fascinated by the concept of a customer comes in and they put a quarter in and they're paying for the laundry at the time of service. So there's really not very much accounts receivable. And so there's not a lot of exposure there. And there was a lot of discussions around it's very difficult to fail at a laundry, having a laundry center. And so that drove me to a little bit more safety. As we've grown and we have commercial accounts, we do have accounts receivable at this point, but that's kind of a minor piece of the overall financial picture.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go back and like actually hear your story of how it's been since you got in the industry in a second. But since we started talking about it, I wanted to just sit for a second on the branding thing, because I've been talking about how branding is going to become more and more important in our industry for laundries to actually have strong brands. And you guys have a strong brand, right? It's a strong name and the color's strong, right? Especially for the region that you're in. Like you said, and kind of the Sacramento Kings thing, purple is all over Sacramento. And so it's really strong. But I think it's interesting how you said, hey, we did surveys to help us pick our logo, to help us pick our color. We have a brand kit that shows you how to use the logos, how to use the colors, what colors we're using, kind of all that stuff. I mean, it sounds like you're taking your branding very seriously. Can you just talk about like why taking it so seriously, and have you seen any effect of having taken this brand seriously and trying to build a strong brand?
Well, I think from the marketing side and advertising side, I've been told by multiple marketers that you have to like interact with a customer something like 15 times before they'll decide to purchase your product. I know our numbers on our pickup and delivery have steadily increased since we've opened, but they haven't increased to the extent that I thought they would. I thought it would just kind of explode. It's more of a slow, gradual increase over time. And what we're seeing is it's multiplying, but I believe part of that is around our brand and our interaction with the customers. For example, you walk in the store, you see the Monster logo. You come and you purchase something from the register. The receipt that comes out has the Monster Laundry logo on it. All of our materials that when we package a pickup and delivery order, we end up putting postcards inside of, this is not the exact postcard we've used because it's advertising the pickup and delivery, but we use postcards that have, every single postcard has our logo on it. So when it goes to the customer's house and they're unpacking their clothes, out comes a postcard and says Monster right there. So it's multiple interactions reinforcing. The bags that we provide free laundry bags to any of our pickup and delivery customers. Those bags, and Michelle's it is branded. Okay. So it's a key part of messaging and, hey, this is us. Don't forget about us. Incidentally, Michelle and I have recently started having the team do our laundry. And what I'm finding is at home, we get all this stuff back and Monster logos all over our house now, like on the receipts, and you process all that, but you're constantly getting inundated. Once you become a customer, you absolutely get inundated with the Monster brand. And it's a question of how do you get those customers that aren't our customers yet to see us. And so we're doing things like A-frame signs. We have a very busy street that goes by the laundry center. Our advertising online all has our logo scheme and our logos and our logo marks. Anything that comes out of the company that's meant to be selling a product has our logo. We do a lot of fun stuff like on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram that they don't necessarily, it's not focused on the logo. It's just more like, hey, this is laundry. We're here. Have some fun, you know? Yeah. Any other thoughts, Michelle? I'm kind of rambling.
Craig, are you dancing on TikTok? Because I'm going to go follow you right now if you're dancing on TikTok.
I'm not a big TikTok, but I did a little video for TikTok as a kind of goofing around, and it got like 2,000 views. I was like, okay.
Hey, you need to get that robot. Well, I mean, we'll talk about the robot. You need to get that robot on TikTok too. People will eat that up for sure. Okay, let's backtrack back to January. Thank you for sharing about the branding. I mean, I think it's so important, right? And, you know, everybody talks about how, you know, we were sort of like an industrial economy for a while, and then we were an information economy, and now we're an attention economy, right? And, you know, what I loved hearing you say is like, once you become our customer, you know, you're inundated with our brand, our logo, our colors, and you just can't really like get away from it, right? and doing some like the fun stuff and getting out in front of people, obviously running ads and having your logo, your customers carrying your logo around, the bags on the front porches if you're doing pickup and delivery, like that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, that's all gaining attention for your brand, right? And that stuff tends to, as long as you have a good service, which obviously you guys do, that stuff tends to kind of hockey stick. You get that slow incremental growth. And then all of a sudden you hit that tipping point where people start to know your brand and things really start to take off. So it sounds like you're well on your way to doing that. And I love your guys' brand. Like since I saw it, I love your brand. I think it's super strong and it's fun. But it also has that sort of like, hey, listen, your laundry doesn't scare us. We're the monsters here. We'll take care of that stuff. I love it.
Yeah, our tagline, that was part of the branding, was to come up with a tagline. And I can't take credit, nor can Michelle, was our artist, but our tagline is so clean, it's scary.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. It's so good. And it's a fun brand because there's a lot of things you can do to play off it, right? That's fun and light, but also has like the meaning that you're looking for. So I love it. I think it's great. Okay, so let's rewind back to January 2024. You bought this laundromat. This is your first laundromat, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, and so you bought this first laundromat. I mean, take us back. Tell us, like, how were you feeling at the time when you took over? Were you guys excited? Were you nervous? And then what were like some of the first steps that you guys took once you took over?
I wanted to have you.
We took over, and it was January 14th. I was talking about the laundry on the 13th, and then he says, yeah, we're going to go get the keys tomorrow. I'm like, what do you mean we're going to go get the keys tomorrow? He goes, yeah, we're taking over tomorrow. We're taking over this laundry center, this laundromat that we've kind of already looked at. So that started, we came down. The old owner pretty much gave us the keys and left. Her son came down and walked us through how to open the old machines. It was still like the top loaders. It was still the dryers that had multiple keys. So we did that, locked up, and he says, yeah, good luck. If you have any questions, call me. That was pretty much it. We kind of figured everything out. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way we can do this. This is a little crazy. And it was all pen and paper. So we run with curbside. And thank goodness that came in. But that's been such a lifesaver because we did pen and paper. And when we're going through some of the stuff, we found those receipts that we were using. And I'm like, there's no way we would be able to do this. Then we started retooling. Craig had this idea that we're just going to retool the laundry center Monday through Thursday and then open it up to the public Friday through Sunday. That was crazy because then it was like a huge, like the contractors have to take all their stuff out. We have to come in and deep clean. So that was a little crazy. That never happening again.
That's crazy. Yeah. But I mean, I love it, right? Because I mean, that's a busy time anyways. And why not get the work done? And then if it's still usable, people will come even if you're in the middle of working on the place. So.
Yeah, they did come, but it was, I'm a firm believer now, shut it down, have 2 months of construction and then bring it back up if it only takes 2 months. But that was
it's big
disaster. It was constant. It was, we did too much. We were thinking, oh, we don't want to lose the revenue stream, or we didn't want to lose the customers. But I mean, looking back on it, our customer base has changed significantly since that time period. And really it's about attracting new customers, letting people know that we've re-envisioned this laundry center. And it doesn't look anything like what it did before, and getting those customers back in. We could have easily shut down for 2 months and not worried about customers whatsoever. That was a concern. I remember that was the main driver was we're going to lose customers. And that's not something I would be concerned about right now at all.
But we were actually, Craig and I were just talking. There was this movie that is in, and it was actually shot in Sacramento. That was the time we actually took over the laundry center, and their production team actually reached out to us to see, can we do some laundry? And looking at what we have now and what we did before, it's just night and day. Now we can just handle so much more stuff. We're doing very chilled. We're going to work with. We're working with like this. We've we've worked with. So we're able to kind of handle that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're able to do that. We work with some of the performers when they have the tour. They bring their laundry here. Just from then to now, it's just night and day. So no paper and pen anymore, too.
No more paper and pen.
Jordan, not to kill the vibe. I didn't talk to you about this before the podcast. I do not want any of our customer names going out on podcasts to give our competition leverage against us. So if you could strike that whole last response, and I'm sorry, Michelle, we as a company cannot afford that sort of, there's a customer there and then somebody goes after.
I'm just making a note for the editor.
Every customer is extremely valuable, Jordan.
Yeah. I'm just making a note for the editor real quick.
We've also kind of started thinking outside the box too, because we had a commercial that was shot here that was with collaboration, and they shot their commercial here, and that's actually on Instagram. And then we're gonna have a horror movie getting shot in our laundry center too. So such night and day from when we first got it in January till now.
Yeah, and I think I'd add to that is that when we took over operations in January, there were so many things that we didn't know, like just running the business and having employees and paying employees. All of those business systems were built in those first 6 months, along with the entire retool. So we took keys in January. June 1st, we were done with the retool, and that's really where both Michelle and I say that's when we started to grow and really did a concerted effort of growing establishing the operations, growing our customer base, and getting advertising out there and providing consistency. So since June, so it's about a year and 3 months of true operations. And I mean, every week we do things a little bit differently and get a little bit better. We're better and better every single week. I mean, to things like handling the laundry that goes through the facility. Michelle has put in place many things in the operations side. From my side, finances, having that consistently done and working with teams to pull revenue streams in, along with watching the expenses that go out. It has really been a journey. Our staff is at, I'd say, 17 currently. We have many part-time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we run a pickup and delivery cargo van, and we have drivers, we have attendants, and we have one maintenance worker, along with a little bit of social media presence with the staff.
We're running our staff 4-hour shifts instead of the full 8 hours right now. So about as we amp up, then we'll extend the hours. So.
Yeah. Okay. We've got a lot to unpack here because you just said a whole lot of stuff. That was awesome. You kind of like casually mentioned this phrase earlier, and I want to kind of go back to it and understand a little bit what you meant and like what caused this. But you mentioned that your customer base really has changed from when you bought it to when you reopened and, or not reopened because you didn't close down, but after you retooled and that June 1st, when you started to, really grow the business, you said the customer base has changed. Can you talk about what that means? Your customer base has changed. What did it look like before? What did it look like after? And what caused that change?
I think just the way that the laundry center is, how it looks. It's very clean. My attendants are constantly cleaning, making sure that there's no just bounce sheets on the floor or the floor. It's there's no dirt or anything on the floor. If there's stuff or water or anything, it gets cleaned up right away. We're fully staffed, so we're fully staffed from 6 a.m. when we open to when we close at 9 o'clock. And then what else?
Well, I would say that we hire our attendants on three things: customer service, cleaning, and wash, dry, fold. And what Michelle's talking about is the cleaning side of it. This place is impeccably clean. Many people have said this is the cleanest laundry center they've ever been in. And some people say, I could eat off the floors in here. It's so clean. And the concept behind that is, as a customer approaches with dirty clothes, they need to come to a clean place to get those clothes clean. If it's dirty to begin with, it's going to be a turnoff. So when we talk about the customer base, Jordan, I observed no children whatsoever in this laundry center. And that sat with me like, what's going on? I remember as a kid going to laundromats and just there, that was just a place I would go as a kid, but we had none here. And it concerned me. Fast forward a year and 3 months, we have multiple families coming in daily into this laundry center with children. So that is a distinct change. The which was a scary place to go that I would never bring my family or my children to a safe place to come with a fully attended staff, with people they're going to help you with anything you need. And it's going to be managed. If we have somebody who causes a disturbance, we have a process of asking them to leave and escorting them out if that ever happens. And you can imagine in the laundry world, that sort of stuff does happen. But with respect and care, we take care of those issues. And our customers have said that. They say, hey, we know you're going to take care of a problem if there is one. That's why I come here. It's a safe place. Mm-hmm. So I think when we talk about the change of our customer base from the self-service end, it used to be adult, no children, to now we're getting many more families into the self-service space.
And our space is also brighter now, and with the gentrification that's going on, we're getting more people dropping off their laundry. There are some customers that say, "Hey, I would never have done this had you guys at the old laundry because it's just a little dated, a little old." They say the first thing they say it's just clean. So
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Now, I was going to dive into the customer changes in our drop off and our pickup and delivery have also changed drastically. We have 10x'd our pickup and delivery since March of 2024. And that's just incredible to see that. I mean, it's a slow progression and it goes up, but it's not a hockey stick, but it definitely is a slow progression. But in that time, we've 10x'd. Additionally, we have many commercial clients. When we first started, we had one, maybe two commercial clients, and now we service many different businesses. So the customer base has absolutely changed. We're getting more referrals and more just opportunities within the community to help people keep their clothes clean.
Okay, so there's probably one or two people listening right now that really want to know how in the world you 10x your wash and fold and pick up and delivery. And I'm sure it's it's not a one-off silver bullet. It's a comprehensive plan that you guys work. But can you give us a little bit of insight into how you actually grew that business? Well, and how you're growing it?
A little bit of cherry picking of numbers, obviously, but the growth was through, we advertised on Google. We provide consistent service. We do things like converting a drop-off customer. If a drop-off customer comes in, we attempt to get them a pickup and delivery. I showed you this postcard earlier, but this is, we offer free pickup and delivery. That's about the only three thing we really do right now that's pretty consistent is, hey, we'll come out, we'll pick it up, we'll deliver it back. There's no charge for that whatsoever. You just pay for the weight of the clothes you're sending. So just consistency. I mean, our operations, we have an SOP binder that's like this thick at this point. From a consistency standpoint, we've hired and we've let go many people because of that consistency need. If somebody's not working out with regard to the wash, dry, fold process, because that package that goes back to the customer, it needs to look like a present. And all the customer has to do is open it and put it into their drawers.
I think with operation wise, since I run more operations, we went away from paper and pen. We automated all the pickup and delivery. So that allows us, again, we use curbside, so I can't speak to any other systems, but with curbside, it allows me to track where all the packages are. We have a chain of custody that our attendants was started and then they finish it. So there's no, we don't break the chain of custody. So with that, it allows me to track where everything is, who processed it, who folded it, what time. That allows us to kind of start processing a lot more laundry. What else? Well, right now it's growing because we have Sophy. So that's been kind of awesome.
I think the impact of the folding robot, Sophy Swiftfold is our name for her, that is yet to be fully realized in this laundry center. And we have an entire media blitz that's coming, and that'll affect the entire Sacramento region. Now, when we think about that growth over the last year and 3 months, a lot of it is consistency, and we're diving directly into the bread and butter of running a wash, dry, fold operation and having that consistency and getting the right staff involved. And those are all challenges that, I mean, Michelle's had an extremely, hard journey there to get it to the level it needs to be. When somebody comes in, their package is going to go out the same way, irregardless of who folds it. If I fold it, the same way as if one of our attendants folds it. So that's a strong piece of it. We advertise, we do Google clicks. That's been a piece of it. We've been doing a lot of grassroots guerrilla marketing. Michelle and I have gone to a lot of the different places where customers are and put out our flyers like this one to just say, hey, this is an opportunity you can use Monster Laundry. There's how to attract customers, how to grow it. But it's not, when I say 10X, it's slow. It's not fast at all. And it's a slow progression. We get about one new customer a day. And some of those stick and a lot don't. A lot will be
one-timer.
Just a one-timer. Like, you have a couple of good examples of one-timers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have some one-timers and stuff, but I think at least at the operation portion of it, going away from pen and paper helped. Definitely, we saw a jump.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, real quick, because I want to make sure everybody who's listening is on the understand. I mean, you mentioned that you don't break the chain of custody. Can you just explain what you mean by that in your pickup and delivery wash, dry, fold operation?
Yeah.
Just so everybody's on the same page.
Well, let's say we're doing they're doing a drop off. It gets bin and it gets shelved. The attendant that's assigned to that specific customers will pull it off the shelf, and they will take that laundry, unload it, put it in the washer. When it's done, they take it out of the washer, goes into the dryer, and when that's done, they take it and they fold and bag the whole entire order. So we don't have another attendant come in and say, one attendant A would just do the washing, attendant B would do the drying, and then attendant C would do the folding. One attendant covers everything. And the way that we train here is if you cannot finish the packing and the folding, you do not start that load, because then the chain of custody gets broken. And if something gets missing, and we've had this happen before where a customer says, I have a blanket, it's not with me. I go back to one attendant to be like, do you remember this blanket? Have you seen it? And they can say, yes, I've seen it, or no, it didn't come in with this order, and we can go back to the customer. That is also one thing why I think our customer likes us too.
Yeah. Yeah, and basically somebody's owning the order, right, all the way through from beginning to end. And I mean, I like that. It does simplify things. And there are, I should just mention, for the sake of people listening here, there are sort of two philosophies, right? One is you don't break the chain of custody, you own it all the way through. And the other sort of philosophy that some people employ is you own one part of the process. You're a folder. You are throwing in loads from the washers into the washers and from the washers to the dryers, right? So there's different ways to do it, but I love that model where somebody just owns it and it simplifies a lot of things for you. Okay. I mean, listen, I know we're sort of like teasing the robot here, but I got a couple questions before we get to the robot. Number one, and I guess this is like tangentially related, I guess, sort of, is you have mentioned multiple times about your staff, how you've gone through a whole bunch of staff, how you have 17 staff right now. I mean, can you talk about staffing? How that seems to be like a consistent difficulty that laundromat owners and probably just business owners in general struggle to figure out the staffing piece. Have you guys figured it out, or like what's the experience been with staffing?
So we went to Dave Mentz's workshop, Wash Cycle workshop.
Yeah.
One of the best things that I got from there that he said was you need to be quick to fire and slow to hire. So we've been trying to do that. The way that we work here is we're very, very specific on what I want my attendants to do, very specific steps to take to make sure that all the end product is the same. So if they can't kind of get that, then we give them opportunities to grow. And if that doesn't work, then I just don't have time to kind of spend more time and more money on them. I mean, to say it really bluntly, we hire, oh my gosh, it's like a revolving door, I think.
It is, but it's also we talk about this level of employee who's just, at minimum wage or a little bit above minimum wage. A lot of times they'll say, well, I can work here, so there's a lot of turnover that was unexpected. You think everything's fine and the person they're gone. And so we attempt to hire and retain staff that want to be part of this organization and build it forward. We conduct quarterly staff meetings where we get everybody together, throw pizza down. We talk about the vision, where we're going. We talk about the numbers, how many pounds of laundry we process each month. And then Michelle spends a lot of time on operations during those meetings. But we build that community. Mm-hmm. We're attempting to create a community that people are like, I want to be part of that. And we've actually had staff members who have left and said, I want to come back. And we're like, if a good staff member will absolutely come back. So that we've had a bit of retention with them, and the turnover has gotten less. And when Michelle said from Dave Mentz, Laundromat Millionaire, basically advised quick to fire, slow to hire, we slow down the hiring process. We actually have 3 people interviewing each person that comes through. No person gets an interview without a resume at this organization. We're using tools like Indeed to put out requisitions. Michelle, how many? Thousands of people? Thousands. So Michelle scours through thousands of resumes, and she pulls out, cherry picks them, hands them to me. I'll eyeball them. If they get by, I kind of look at them and say, if this is good, I say, go ahead, and we schedule interviews, and the interview processes of three of our staffs. We have our lead, myself, and Michelle all interview. And during that process, you kind of suss out, is this person going to work out with a team? Are they the right cultural fit? Do they have the ability to learn our processes? And do they want to grow with the company? And then we make offers. Typically within the first week, we'll know if somebody's going to work out or not. Again, quick to fire. If it's not working out, then just move on. That's a piece of it. And it's a tough part, but these 17 people, we're impacting their lives. We're creating a working environment, and our company is growing, and we're going to be we're going to have a lot more full-time people probably in the next year, at least 2 to 3 full-time people on board. It just, I'm kind of, yeah, Michelle, no, not hopefully it's happening. We're already going to a second site and probably a third fairly quickly. So the growth of this company is going to just keep going. But part of it is the people, and it's a lot of work goes into people. Whether it's the onboarding, offboarding, performance reviews, those absolutely have to happen. Let people know. And Michelle, you do all this.
So I think one of the biggest thing that I've gotten back from my leads is the quarterly meetings, the quarterly staff meeting. We make them mandatory, with the food and stuff. So if they are able to see everybody and then kind of,
yeah, sometimes it's the first time because you have drivers, you have attendants, and they're all in different shifts. Sometimes the first time they go, oh, you're that person. They meet for the first time. But the quarterly staff meeting is a way to set the North Star. Where are we going? And yeah, absolutely. We just recently started having, it was our first manager meeting, happened about 6 months ago. We went to dinner, talked about the direction of the company we're going. And this is just Michelle and I are in our leads. We have a lead in, I'd say, the kind of the administrative space, a lead in the attendance, and lead drivers.
I think they run the program too. If we're not here, we have a buy-in of our leads. Then I think that's one of the things, we have buy-ins from our leads. That's allowing us to grow.
Yeah, it's huge, right? And like, what I love, what I'm hearing is that you guys are turning this small business into a company. Like, that's how I like to look at it, right? You're building the culture of the company and you're trying to get the right people and the right fit. And that takes time to find the right people. And sometimes you find the right people and then they unexplainably leave and you got to try to find the right person again, right? Like, it's all part of the process, but investing in your people. And this is a lot of, like, I talk a lot about moving up the hierarchy as an owner, right? Like, when I started in my very first laundromat, I didn't have that much money. I bought a laundromat all cash, and it was a big chunk of the cash that I had. And so early on, I was like cleaning the floors and wiping down machines and closing up the shop, right? And my goal was to move up the hierarchy here. And if you don't do that and offload, there's just so many owners that are doing a lot of things in their business that they probably shouldn't be doing, right? Because it doesn't give you time to think about building the culture, which is huge in building a business, and investing into your leadership, right? You've got this leadership tier in your business that you're investing in. And I mean, you're talking about these quarterly staff meetings and these manager meetings. Like, not a lot of laundromat owners are doing that yet. There are some like you that are savvy and that are doing this, but not very many. And I think it demonstrates why you guys are having a lot of success, why you're seeing that growth that you're seeing in your business right now, because you're running it like it's a company and like you're going somewhere, because you're going somewhere, right? Yeah. Do you have, are you finding most of your people on Indeed? Is that where you're finding them? Or like a site like that?
Yeah, I think, Michelle, the majority come from Indeed.
That's just a lot. You just got to force through it. But I've also, Shelly.
It's strange that family, friends, some of those will have joined the organization. We have people that walk in, constant walk-ins, and we say, you need a resume, and they come back with a resume. And
majority is that. I think we have one of our friends is helping us out, and then one of my military friend who's just retired from the military, and it's gonna come help us do some driving.
Yeah, it's tough because the Indeed, you're just the random population. So if you have a well-cited person, somebody that is a recommendation, typically those go to the top of the list because you're like, oh, potentially this person, will work out. It takes a certain individual that is a certain spot in their life that this is good for them. And it really, there's no real age constraint there. It's really just the person that wants to raise their hand and say they want to be part of the organization.
And then show up to work.
Yes, and they show up to work.
Yeah, actually be there. Yeah, that one's key. Yeah. And easier said than done sometimes.
Well, it's pretty obvious, within the first 2 weeks, if they miss one day, it's like, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think that recommendation from a good employee, good people hang out with good people, right? So if you've got a good employee, chances are pretty good they've got family or friends that would also be good employees. So if they're bringing somebody and saying, hey, my friend is interested, like you said, top of the list, because good people tend to hang out with good people, and would tend to be a good cultural fit as well if that employee is a good cultural fit. And I think you said you've got somebody doing social media for you. Is that somebody who's like on staff?
Yeah, they're super part-time. Yeah, they're helping out with, we have a blog associated with the monsterlaundry.com website, and they're putting out a blog once a week. And then that's one individual, and he's also working on like a lot of the artwork, a lot of the printed materials we sent out, like the postcards. And then we have another individual that focuses on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and just publishing. Now, on the social media side of things, although we've been out there since about the last month, we've been making more of a concerted effort to get more content and better content out about Monster Laundry. So that's, we're kind of very young in that piece of the puzzle, but I think it's an important piece because, certain demographics will be using TikTok, others demographics, Facebook and Instagram. And so if we can get the message out about us and just have a general presence out there, I think that's of value. And every once in a while, Michelle and I will pop in an ad and say, hey, come use us, 15% off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I was going to ask you, like, what made you guys decide to invest in posting on social? Because again, I think a lot of laundromat owners are not investing in social and don't. I don't know if they don't see the value or they don't know how to do it or what the reasoning behind it is. Probably a mixture of all those. But you believe that there's value. I know you're early in on it, so it's too soon to tell probably, but you believe there's value in investing in the social presence there, obviously.
From both of us are concerned with acquiring more customers and new customers. And this is one of the avenues we do that. There are many other ways that we market, but one avenue is around social media. And we believe that that is an effective way to reach some audience. And again, you have to interact with them like 11 times. So it's a lot just putting stuff out there that's fun and not necessarily come do your laundry, but, hey, the robot did something funny today. Look at this, or, this funny thing happened with some socks between two people. And just random things we can put out there. That's, it is early on. I believe it will return for our company to get better presence out there in the digital space, just like the Google clicks are out there and we use those. This is another aspect.
They did a whole not webinar. They did a whole class at Clean Show just for social media. So it's there. We just got to do it. It's just like AI is coming.
Oh, AI is here.
It's not coming.
AI is here.
It's
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for whatever it's worth, which is $0, I think you're right on that bet. I think that is, I think it's going to be a solid investment for you for a lot of different reasons. If nothing else, then you'll have something to point to when you want to go up to some, big name client, some big business, some, sports team or whatever, and say, hey, let us do your laundry for you. Here's who we are. And you've got a lot of content even to just point to, but it'll have a lot of benefit even beyond that as well. I think so. Smart. But listen, we've put it off long enough. We've got to talk about this other employee that you've got working for you now. Which, by the way, if you're listening to this, we'll put a link to their YouTube so you can go check out this folding robot. But tell us a little bit about that, and when did you get it? Why did you get it? And what's going on with it right now?
First off, Michelle's better at telling the intro story. I got an email and I'm like, delete.
Yeah, so
she got the same email.
Craig's usually the one that gets these crazy stuff. So like all the crazy ideas comes from Craig. I mean, we love it. We have an AI answering service, which we love. It's him. He's just so technical. So all our machines, all our washers are literally hardwired. Every single one is hardwired. And people that comes and says they've never seen it like that. But what happens is we got this email from Dyna Robotic. Craig is like, I am not interested. We are just swamped. There's no way. And here I am, which is the more kind of the conservative one, I think. I said, no, let's just take a look at it. Let's just call Izzy and let's see what we have. So what we have is now Sophy Swiftfold that is now in our laundry. She is processing 7 of our commercial clients. She's on full display. So anybody that comes to our laundry center during normal business working hours can see her.
And I think Michelle said, we should talk to these people. And I'm like, let's not waste our time. I don't have time. We got to get customers and increase our pickup and delivery, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, we were scheduled, I think, for a half an hour. And then the ideas started generating. And we're like, we could do this, we could do that. This would be super cool if it was able to fold this. And by the end of the call, I think it ran over, maybe we were at an hour mark. Izzy's like, yeah, let's make this happen. What was the next steps that really, they were just kind of fishing and saying, would this be a laundry they'd want to work with that's near their headquarters? They're located at the Bay Area in California. And we followed up that conversation with a return on investment conversation of what makes a robot in a laundry make any sense whatsoever. So being the engineer technical guy, I pulled out all of the numbers for how much laundry we process for our commercial clients because it's kind of easier. They're kind of more consistent. They're like towel, like that. So we worked up kind of how many pounds of laundry would be going through potentially the robot and what we would need to pay a human to do that same work. And it pretty quickly showed a break even. If it processes all of our laundry for all of the commercial clients, then it would absolutely break even for the fees that they suggested would be charged. So that's through that process of looking at the hard numbers, and then the decision was made that Dyna Robotics would partner with Monster Laundry to do a pilot project of their robot within our space, and then from there it just grew. And now it's full blown. They're operating here. They have their trainer. If you jump on we have a live feed going 24 hours a day of the robot. I mean, it only works basically from 7 to 4-ish Pacific time. So if you want to see it in action, you just have to jump out on our live feed. We're on YouTube at monsterlaundry.inc, and I'm sure you put a link in the show notes. But we've got a trainer here. He's training constantly, and then Sophy does the folds, and that's been the kind of the journey with the robot. It's super cool.
I think one of the biggest things that I've been asked at the Clean Show and even here is it's so slow. It's like I can fold faster than that. But I think for us, it's not about replacing our attendance. It's about augmenting our attendance. Our bottleneck is our folding. So it's 25 minutes for us to wash, 30 minutes for us to dry, and over an hour just to fold. Even towels, it still takes time. So now what happens is they take the towels from the dryer, put it in a cart, and push it into Sophy's home, Sophy's enclosure. And Sophy does the work while they start another load. So with Sophy, we're able to process more laundry. And once Sophy's done folding, she pushes it to the side, and all the attendant does is when they're walking to somewhere, they just pick up the pile and then just put it in the bag. So I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's an augmentation of our workforce. I always think of it kind of like this. We purchase these washing machines, lots and lots of money go into those. We purchase dryers, lots and lots of money goes into those. This is just another machine that just does folding. And it happens to be AI, and it happens to be very complicated and technical, but it's just doing another part of the process.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, so cool. I mean, that was that was sort of the talk of the Clean Show, right? Of the robots. And I did a couple interviews at different booths and stuff. And, people were asking like, hey, what's standing out from this Clean Show? And, we still got washers, we still got dryers, we still got, the normal stuff. But one of the things that stood up pretty much to everybody was the folding robots, right? And you're right. Like right now they're slow and they at least start out a little clumsy but they're learning all the time and getting faster and getting better. We're at that first iteration. You're on the leading edge of technology, really just in general, but definitely in our space with what you're doing. So it's interesting to see this thing working in an actual laundromat, right? Because I think the question is this going to be a feasible solution to help augment our staff in laundry? And you guys are running that experiment right now to see, if it's going to be feasible. And I think, there's a decent shot that we're coming to a point where you're going to have multiple of these guys, and maybe they're trained on specific items that they fold specifically, or maybe they learn all the different items and I don't know, but it's it's really, really interesting to see what this is going to turn out to be like. And it's really cool to go on your guys' link and watch it happening live in real time, which is it's pretty cool. And if you haven't seen it, definitely go check the link for sure. So who named this thing? That's what I want to know. Was it you guys? Yeah, I like it. I think
it was the first time. And then I think Will vetoed it too. Our designer vetoed it too, and then actually came back with it. And I told him we need to spell it with a Y instead of an IE because we want her to be more bougie.
Yeah, and like with Monster Laundry, we're concerned about branding. So we have to be wearing the Dyna robotic shirt. Michelle, can you turn around and show? So this is the caricature.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here, come this way. Okay, this is the caricature of Sophie.
Yes.
And
I love it.
Our kind of slogan here is AI meets laundry. The future is folded. And so this was, again, our artist put this together, and we have little monster caricatures we used in our again, back to here, this is a step action. Sign up online, little zip will come out and collect your stuff, and Tank's going to bring it back nice and folded. So those are other examples of our branding and marketing. But yeah, Sophie got her own little look. So yeah, and I think the name kind of out of that effort.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, like you said, you give something a name and it gives it, a little more intrigue, a little more interest. And, you got to go watch Sophy Swiftfold folding laundry live on YouTube.
We have our own little board, a little column on the board, on our whiteboard too, because
Does it?
Each attendant has a little column to tell them what laundry to process. Sophie has her own little column.
I love it. Just one of the team. Does Sophie go to the quarterly meetings, or you keep her working? Okay. She gets the weekends off? Come on.
Weekends off.
That's all right. That's funny. Well, I mean, how's it been going so far? I mean, have you guys been pleased with how the experiment's been going so far? I mean, obviously there's probably room for improvement because there is for everything always, but what's the overall sentiment?
I think it's great. I mean, I'm a stickler on folding. So the seams has to match. It has to fold. We call it the monster way, like our way. And they're able to teach her to kind of fold. The seams are great. They're matching about 90% of the seams are perfect right now. So I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I think that looking at the progression, we've been working with Sophy Swiftfold in the laundry for about 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, comparing that to now, there's absolutely an improvement in the speed of folding, the quality of folding, the different items that are folded. So right now we're focusing just on just simple towels and different types of folds of those towels. So some towels are very simple. It's just one fold. Other are more complex. It's one fold and then 2 other folds to make a certain pattern of folding. And all of that was specified to the team, and they've been working on generating models. And if you jump on the live feed, you'll see the Dyna person actually training the model. So he's making the folds, and they're recording all the moves he's making, and that all gets fed into a model that then gets put into an inferencing engine that then drives the actual robot. But we've absolutely, we have 7 commercial clients that are being folded with Sophy right now, and there's multiple different types of folds in there and different types of towels. So it is growing. It can also fold T-shirts at this point, but I would expect that as the system evolves, we'll be able to roll up just a whole menagerie of different items, and Sophy will just go through and fold everything and put it aside for processing into the output.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How long have you had her in the store now?
2 months.
2 months, about 2 months, yeah.
2 months. And have you seen, well, first of all, I got to know how this Dyna trainer, is he any good at folding? If that's who's training, you got to make sure he knows what he's doing.
We're training him how to.
Yeah.
Sometimes my attendant doesn't get there in time, and he takes the stuff and just packs it for us. I'm like, okay. Yeah. He can work here after he's done.
That's right. Maybe. We'll see if he's a cultural fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen pretty good improvement over the last 2 months? I know she's learning kind of just as she goes. How quickly is she learning? Just out of curiosity.
To answer the question, I think the best way to answer it is, how quickly is Sophy Swiftfold resolving problems that occur? And that really dictates speed. Because let's say she picks up a towel, she thinks she's got 1, but she actually has 2. And then she has to figure out, there are 2 there, and then say, there's 2, and discard 1. That is a problem that as a human, you're like, easy, boom. For Sophy and the modeling engine, it has determined has 2. Once it confirms that, it can discard, but that takes a while. Other things that happen are like the seams isn't wrong, or if the fold is not correct, like it accidentally gets folded over, it needs to go in and take that apart and get it so that it has just a nice square or a rectangle, depending on the size.
Stacking too.
Yeah.
Like how they stack it so she can move it and it doesn't topple over.
So let's say if everything went perfectly well, folds have reduced in time to fold. Those we've seen those numbers for sure. Those have been tightening up, but it's the challenging situations that sometimes slow down the entire process. So you're looking at true throughput of the system.
Yeah. Well, and obviously she's only going to get better, faster, more precise, learn new, skills. It's interesting because I was talking with, I forget who, maybe Waleed or somebody. And then also Elon Musk tweeted about how modeling fingers is very difficult, and the ability of fingers and how dexterous fingers are to be able to do things like folding and stuff like that is very difficult. So I know that there's a lot of learning that the AI and the robots have to have to learn in order to be able to be as dexterous as a human when it comes to fingers, specifically for folding. But it's interesting, and I guess I hadn't really even thought about it in the sense of like problem solving. I like that sort of framework of also that robot has to figure out how to solve problems. And you mentioned some simple ones. And I think once you start throwing in mixed items, right, just whatever, there's a whole lot of other problems that get more complex that are going to take some learning to do. But in the meantime, you've got, this robot augmenting the most time cost chore in a laundromat, in a pickup and delivery or drop off side of the business, and getting better all the time. It's pretty cool. Have you seen or do you anticipate like a big impact in your business in any ways going forward?
I hope so. I hope we'll get more customers, and the novelty of it get people to our laundry center. I think besides just laundry, we also offer dry cleaning and alteration. So I'm hoping that once they come in to see Sophy, that they get they can see our other services, and maybe we'll get them as a customer.
Yeah, for sure. We're currently in the stage of the big blast out to the Sacramento region about the Sophy and the technological advancements we're making in the laundry space. And so, we're being filmed by 2 of the local news stations over the next week. And we had the local newspaper interview us last week. And so, I believe that may have a big impact on people knowing about Monster in the entire Sacramento region. And that's kind of more of a marketing sort of push to just let everybody know about the amazing stuff we're doing here.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, like how did you line these up? How are you getting the PR, with the local news stations and things like that? Did you reach out to them, or what did that look like?
Michelle and I belong to the Rotary Club here in Sacramento, and it's one of the most active Rotary clubs in the entire nation, or at least or California. There are only 3 that have paid staff, and Sacramento is one of them. So we have contacts within that network that got us into talking to the Sacramento Bee. And then we have family friends of other businesses that help to get our name in front of a few of the reporters. And then what's that? Oh yeah. If you're in the Sacramento region, Forgotten Bakery, amazing bagels and empanadas to die for.
They hand roll them. So.
Yeah, they're an amazing company. Kind of like us in the sense of pushing that leading edge. But we had a customer come in and actually get us in front of one of the newscasters.
Yeah.
That was just an amazing interaction we had. Her washing machine had broken, and then she came into the laundry, and we just started talking.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And what I also like about it is that you've got this like multi-prong approach, right? You said you're doing some Google ads, you've got some guerrilla marketing and flyers going out, you're upselling existing customers, you're doing PR, like your social media, like you've got a whole lot of things going. That's why I was, kind of asking you about like, oh, how did you 10x your pickup and delivery, and knowing that it wasn't just one thing that you're doing, right? There's a whole bunch of things, a comprehensive, cohesive strategy that you guys are implementing along with the customer experience, the strong branding, and, the strong culture of employees that you have there, the rigorous hiring standards, the thick book of SOPs. Like when you start think about everybody wants a good business. Obviously everybody wants a great laundromat and a great laundromat empire and all that, but very few are doing all of the things that it takes to build that business. But you guys are on top of it, and you've got Sophy Swiftfold. So you're on it right now. You guys are on it to win it. I love it. First of all, this has been incredible. First of all, just hearing your journey in this business has been great. You know, taking over a laundromat and basically having to redo the whole thing and pulling away some lessons on how you did that and how you would do that differently was great. But then the ways that you're pushing this business to greater heights was great. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on and share your story and to share how you're using robotics in your business. Is there anything else you want to leave us with before we wrap this thing up?
I think we're always open to people reaching out and talking. There are a lot of people that helped Michelle and I get to where we're currently at. Look at the last year, almost 2 years now. We've had so many coaches, so many people that we've called and talked to. Jordan, you indirectly absolutely influenced me and grew us to where we're at. I've watched so many of your podcasts. And so Michelle and I are open to that sort of discussion. If anybody wants to reach out,
we've been very fortunate on who's helped us in this journey and who's been there for us. I think one of the things too is don't be afraid if you're new laundromat owners, or even if you, I guess, have it for a while, just don't be afraid to ask questions. I have no shame, so I just ask. And if I don't understand, I say, well, that doesn't make any sense. So, you know, I think I have no shame. I just keep asking questions. But I think I'm also, we're open to like people asking us questions too. So whatever we can help.
And we're just, you can find us on our website, monsterlaundry.com, and just support at monsterlaundry.com get to either Michelle or I. And we're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok also. It's mostly the brand. The moniker is always Monster Laundry or Monster Laundry Inc. And you can find us.
Awesome. Well, definitely go to TikTok and watch Craig dance with the robot. You need to choreograph a dance with the robot. Come on, Craig. The people want it. The people want it, Craig. Come on.
Get my daughter.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, you guys are great. I really appreciate you guys coming on. This was so good, so fun. And, you know, I've got family up in that area. So next time I'm up there, I'm gonna have to come by and, you know, say hi to you guys and check Sophy Swiftfold out in person as well. I will make sure your links to everything are in the show notes page. So if you want to reach out to those guys, obviously, you know, they just mentioned the different places you can connect, but we'll also have links to that in the show notes. Or if you're on YouTube, that'll all be down below, including the link to hang out with Sophy Swiftfold online and live streaming there. So I'll have all that stuff there. Guys, I appreciate you guys so much. And let's stay in touch because we want to hear how Sophy's doing as she evolves and gets better at the business. And we want to hear how your business is evolving and growing over time as well. Hope you love that episode. Listen, progress is coming. We've got AI all over the place. We've got robots now entering the chat and automation galore. And some of us are still debating coins versus cards. All right. So listen, this stuff is coming. It's here and it's only going to accelerate its way into our industry. And you can either embrace it, find ways to utilize it as a tool, or you could be a dinosaur. I don't know. That's up to you. But that's kind of my perspective on it. Listen, as always, if you don't find something to take action on from this episode, you will have wasted your entire time. So find something, pick something, take action on it this week, and we'll see you next time. Peace.